Somebody's watching. I see the people. Somebody's watching me. I feel it over my shoulder. Look back, all I see is Roman soldiers, jinns and the demons that are chasing me. The things you call life is just a race to me, another phase to me. Till I hit the next level, face to face against the goddamn devil. Purgatory and the stories you've heard, don't ignore me. Wolfpack, that's my word. There really is another side to me. I can't run, can't hide from me, and the lead footprints everywhere I be. When I dream, I hear footsteps in my sleep. I'm going crazy. I hear all of these voices like an argument with oddball choices. Things I should do, the other says don't. Things I would do and the thing that I won't, but they'll all die. The angels cry to me. No angel would lie to me, but who died? What could this be? As far as the overseeing I can see. God grant me the serenity. In God I trust, in God I trust, in God I trust, in God I trust.
It is sad to be said, one would use a type of pigment to name their cult. All races have albinos. Caucasians, African Americans, Hispanics, even animals all have albinos. But like the third segment, I showed you the albinos running through the woods on Constitution Drive, well, weren't actual albinos, but a cult. An albino meaning white skin, a white power faction. But the legends and locals refers to the only legendary house deep on the legendary road as the haunted house or the albino house. I will prove to you the house is untouched by spiritual entity or albino history. Built like a fortress of defense, however, the house was the property of Harry Johnson, most famous execution in Lehigh County Courthouse, 1894. He killed his 4-year-old daughter and ran what was called the Anniville Stable, a pig farmer with up to 3,000 pigs. But since 1978, Mr. John Eberhard and his family lived in this house, still to this day, and everyone fears to approach the famous haunted house on Constitution Drive. So now, with no further ado, I bring to you an interview with your albino, Mr. John Eberhard.
And I guess as the technology gets better, we'll be able to get that sort of thing, but at present.
Okay. God. It's recording?
Yep.
Hello, I'm your host, Dan Ruff, Constitution Drive. Everybody is familiar with the legendary house. They call it the Albino House. Well, guess what? He's not albino. He's a really great guy. His name is Mr. John Eberhard. How you doing?
Hello. I've been here since 1978. Before that, it was, I forgot their name, but the land that was owned by a coal company, I guess. And that goes back pretty far, and then before that it was a pig farm, and they were supposedly had 3,000 pigs here. And they used to haul garbage from Fountain Hill and Emmaus, and they would bring it up in the back here, and things have changed a lot since then. They went out of business. And
I heard there was an old quarry back here.
well, there's quarries all along here. As you go along the road, you'll see quarries that are cut, you know, where it's really steep at that area. So from the water fountain to here, there's probably 2-3 quarries, and then there's probably, if you go down in the back there's other places where it's the mountain has been cut, and the rock was supposed to be used for Lehigh University, and where else they use it, I don't know.
I know you guys have a lot of problems with dumping and stuff down here.
Well, they're putting cameras up now, and the neighborhood has been working on, the local residents have followed people, and sometimes it takes 6 times before they actually catch the person doing it, but they do catch them, and then they get, you know, there's not only a criminal penalty, there's a civil penalty, And in Pennsylvania, they can confiscate a vehicle too if it's used for that. So
stop the dumping. It's beautiful down here. Why ruin it? It's gorgeous down here.
You know, we've established, and I worked with a mountain bike club to create all these mountain bike trails, and they're multi-use trails. You can walk your dog on, you can jog on them.
I got more daisies.
Trail runners, they stub their toes, but they do run on these trails. There's a lot of rocks, and for a person with a mountain bike, it's a more challenging technical type of trail. If you want to go to easier stuff, you go to Jordan or Jacobsburg, but if you want something that's really challenging, you come to these trails.
Do you remember anybody that lived down here that owned a fireworks stand?
No.
I had heard about this one recently. I haven't found no evidence of it, but I figured I'd ask.
No.
Like, I haven't found any evidence of it, but they posted it to me online. If you don't mind me asking, I know everybody's going to want to know this. I told you I would ask you this. Have you ever seen any history of albinos?
No. You know, everybody's had full pigment in their skin down here. As you know, all big wooded areas get like reputations. Like, I mean, you have Sherwood Forest with Robin Hood. It's just that, you know, the trees grow up and they kind of cover the whole road. There aren't a lot of power lines down here, which we've become used to. A lot of the dirt roads had trees that would kind of cover over the roads in the old days before they were all cut for power lines. But because of our civilization, we've cut the heck out of the trees. Yeah. So there's so much more light that comes in. But it's just a big woods. You can almost get lost in this woods. I mean, actually, you're going to come out to the river or railroad tracks, or you're going to come over to Susquehanna. But there's a mile of woods between here and Susquehanna, so it's a deep woods. So these rumors, the mythology, it all gets created, and so and we're dealing with a lot of situations where people grew up in the city and they're used to sidewalks and street lights. It's really dark down here at night.
Yeah,
so.
We've noticed that too. So you haven't seen anything paranormal, or?
The only thing is that sometimes the rocks create echoes. Like one time there was a guy over there chainsawing, and I was all the way up at the end of the road, and it sounded like he was 100 yards away, and that's a mile away up there. And I came walking down the road, and it just kept sounding like he was 100 yards ahead of me. And it's just the way the shape of the mountain and the way the echoes and the sound travels so much through the woods like that, and then I get here, and here it was obvious he was over across the river. So you might call that paranormal.
It is creepy the way the sound travels. We had one episode, we were up on the mountain, like we were pretty far up, and we had found like a rock. We had moved the rock, and started moving rock after rock, and realized almost like the mountain was hollow. And we had gotten to a point where we hear this in between me and her, and then me and her look at each other like this, and like 2 seconds later you hear the whistle through the mountain. It's like maybe the whistling that you hear, like a lot of people say it's the trains, and I know a lot of the times it is, but I also heard that like when a mountain has springs, it can release those sounds too, and the mountain's definitely loaded with it.
Yeah, well, the sound is the way it travels through the rocks, and it's kind of odd. So the railroad, you know, they're a big company, and they bump their cars, they stack up their cars and make new trains, and then they tow them off to other places. So that's what all the squealing is. It's the rails and the steel tires against the rails. But you can go to any place, like you go out to Reading and they bump their trains like that.
All right, Dan, my arm's getting tired.
All right, yeah. Thank you.
somebody's watching me. I feel it over my shoulder. Look back, all I see is Roman soldiers, jinns and the demons that are chasing me. The things you call life is just a race to me, another phase to me. Till I hit the next level, face to face against the goddamn devil. Purgatory and the stories you've heard, don't ignore me. Wolfpack, that's my word. There really is another side to me. I can't run, can't hide from me, and I leave footprints everywhere I be. When I dream, I hear footsteps in my sleep. I'm going crazy. I hear all of these voices like an argument with oddball choices, things I should do. The other says